fellow patriots, and thank you and welcome back to the Polish American Brotherhood. I am joined by my fellow co-host, my dad.
Marian Szczepański. Like usually, I welcome my friends to our Polish American Brotherhood.
Oh, Dad, you have to hit play on your iPad for that to show.
I have to play. I don't know how to play. You never taught me.
All right, one sec.
Okay.
Just keep going. You're on.
Oh, okay. As before last live stream, what we make, we mentioned about Charlie Kirk. Okay, we're always gonna remember him as our hero. His thoughts was really taught us how to a better life, and we always remember him and his family. He's our hero, as I mentioned, and every program we're going to do with Tara, we're going to mention about him. What we can say only that we are all Charlies now. The memory what he left it for the American patriots will stay in our hearts.
Absolutely. God bless his family.
God bless his family, his children. And President Trump, our hero, he always mentioned about him, how good patriot he was.
Yes, so when we started streaming 2 days ago, that was the National Remembrance of Charlie Kirk Day. So that was on his birthday.
Yeah. And even the birthday is already over. We're going to still mention every time we're going to have a chance. Because Charlie is in our heart. And we all going to be Charlies. All the patriots going to be Charlie.
Absolutely. So, Dad, what do you want to talk about during today's program?
We're going to repeat about the streaming, but I didn't put my sunglasses so I can read what our friends have to say and answer them questions. So basically, I still want to direct our attention to my project for the retirees, which can make the retirees' life in my project very peaceful and without worries. And of course, Mariana project has something to do with the homeless problem in America. We know that President Trump tried to solve the problems starting from Washington, D.C., where he tried to clean up Washington, D.C. from all the negative things. But
all the crime?
Mostly he concentrated on the crime, but not only Washington, D.C., but all the bigger city right now. In my opinion, all the criminals, especially the illegal criminals in United States, should be removed from America. Those who are coming here, I feel sorry for the illegals who wants to come to America, make a little bit better life, but they will well behave. They're not gonna do any harm to American citizen. We should give them the chance to stay and kind of give them a chance to register with the fingerprints and DNA and give them some kind of ID card. So if the police stop them, they can show that basically they allowed to stay in America till they probably get in some kind of problem with the law or something like that.
I would agree with you in terms of like having a pathway to citizenship for people, but unfortunately, due to the amount of people that came in during the Biden administration, we don't know who came into the USA. So it's like anybody who crossed illegally into the country did not follow and obey our laws. And the way that the Biden administration had also like processed things, it's like it gave them gave people who broke the law a reward by being able to jump in front of those who are going through the years of the legal process. Like, we're a family of immigrants. My brothers and I are first generation born in America. Both my parents were born outside of the country. And whenever we have also like family who are immigrating into the US, like, talk about what was your experience like, what was mom's experience like, how long does it take when you're going through the legal process now, though? And do you think it's fair when those who come over illegally basically get an expedited ticket to the front of the line?
Yeah, well, I immigrated myself, but I came to Italy and asked for political asylum, and I've been helped, which I'm very grateful, okay? But I didn't avoid to go through the legal process, okay? When I came, I gave them my fingerprints, and they checked my record that I'm not criminal in a past time, you know. I didn't hide myself, and I've been really helped by the charitable organization to come to America. And when I came to America, I got a job. Basically, I was skilled worker already, so I got a job with the aircraft company, and later I got a job with the United Airlines. So I'm grateful for America. I love America. Number one for me, it is America, and I'm patriot to America. Even I'm Polish, number one, America is first for me.
How long does it take now? Like, for example, Phil, my older brother, we're sponsoring his mother-in-law to be coming to the U.S. Like, what was her experience? Like, she's on the pathway to a green card, or she currently has a green card. Like, she's going through the legal process. Can you talk about what the experience is like when you're going through a legal process in present day?
Well, if you are close related, like I sponsored my mom, didn't take that long actually to legalize her in America. But let's say the further family, like even my sister, it took before 10 years till they got been legalized to come to America. But the thing it is that you know, it's not fair for those people who wants to come legally here and those who coming illegally here and getting the taxpayers' money. I mean, if you coming here just to take advantage of the taxpayers, you should be deported automatically, you know, without question. If you come here and try to work and legalize yourself, like I says, register yourself, give the fingerprints, and after maybe 10 years, if you prove yourself that you try to be good American, maybe you should be legalized also.
I mean, it should be a long process to get citizenship, because you have to integrate into American culture and become American. So the process shouldn't be something that happens like overnight, or you should get citizenship after like 1 or 2 or 3 years. I think that's too soon. And it makes sense that when you marry a US citizen that it does like expedite the process, because like when you have an American spouse, you are integrating more into American culture, and you have somebody basically showing you the ropes, and marriage being a binding legal contract and everything, you have your roots that are there. So it should be a long process, because you want to make sure that Americans, when they take that oath swearing into citizenship, they're swearing an oath to the United States to put the US as their first country, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. That you know, when you married, let's say your spouse is from another country, and she should automatically be legalized. That's what the process is. That takes only a few months to get her work permit, but takes longer time to get for her green card or to become a citizen. This way, it's time not to make some kind of fake marriages. You know, like I remember during yet in my past life that. Some people just getting married every 6 months with the new wife because they want to, you know, bring as many people you want, especially from Mexico, Latin America. So that wasn't wrong, but now it's more strict that.
I mean,
you
that
have to
is called
say-
fraud when it's a fake, when it's still fake documentation. That is called fraud.
The biggest thing when you come to America and you're getting fake IDs, automatically you should be out of the America. You cannot just live in America, not be registered here.
I mean,
that
that's one
you
of the problems that we have with our sanctuary cities, that it created like this underground market for ID cards, for social security cards, like ID fraud and everything. So you have these black markets that are operating in sanctuary cities that became a big problem. So it increases a different, where there's a demand, an illicit demand, there's going to be people willing to break laws and create that market for it.
Yeah, well, during the Biden administration, they've been closing eyes on all the criminal things. They create the sanctuary city, which I don't understand why the Democrats love them, those criminals, and great things that we got now. President Trump, who tried to solve all that problems in America, but I don't know if for him is enough time to do everything, especially that he has a lot of problem with the international things, what's happening, especially in Israel or in Europe with the Ukrainian. He's serving a lot of countries to keep them in a peace. But, I kind of, support Mr. Trump because he's much older than me. And he keep going. He wants to do something good for America. And when I see, those people coming and they are anti-ICE or anti-police, or they going anti-kings, so that's really bad. Saturday we're going to go and see what's going on in Orlando with those anti-Trump
Yeah, it's an anti-Trump protest, which is the
protesters,
No
yeah.
Kings,
So-
No Kings 2.0. I have this idea of what to do with Dad, and you guys can tell me if you like it or not. But walking around with Dad, and basically anybody who has an immigration in support of like illegal immigration and everything, saying like, well, he's an illegal immigrant. Are you willing to take him home with you? I provided him with a shirt and hat, so he has clothing, but he's still in need of food and shelter. So you're for illegal immigration. So will you take him into your house? Do you think anybody's going to be willing to take you in and back their signs up?
Well, I don't think that unless they have a family that they can take them. But normally we are scared of people who coming to this country illegal, especially that when you open the border during the Biden administration, and we let all the cartels, all the MS-13 coming here. You don't know who are those people. Now, my question is, would you like to have somebody living as a neighbor, which coming illegally here, and he have all that tattoo MS-13 on his face? I don't think. I wouldn't like to have a neighbor like that, so...
Yeah, and that's what they did to a lot of the residences when they brought in housing shelters for a lot of these migrants, because you don't know who is in that mix, and is it really safe for you or your children to be going outside? I mean, that was a big problem in New York and in Chicago and these other sanctuary cities.
Yeah, if anybody is an American citizen, and I don't think they would like to have somebody who just coming without the government approval to this country, and that's why I'm asking everybody to support ICE, okay, and support the police. Even sometimes the police, they are human beings, they're making mistakes. Too, but now with those cameras, what they carry, we can find out which policeman is good, which bad. But I would say 95% of the policemen are really good people, you know. They try to help. You see them on the cameras now if you're watching the police stories or another, you know. And with the eyes, you see the protesters, they coming and attacking the eyes. They try to spit on them. They try to use some kind of bad language, you know. They approach too close to them, you know. And I think there should be, I think there is a law that you're supposed to stay 10 feet away from the law enforcement, but I don't know if that's enforced, okay? And
I mean, if they establish like a perimeter, you can't cross into that perimeter. Otherwise, you should be arrested.
Yeah, I think 10 feet is close enough. You can photograph whatever's happening within 10 feet, but getting closer to law enforcement than 10 feet, it should be already punishable.
I like what unapologetic American is saying, that we should dress you up in some traditional clothing when we go to ask people if, since you support illegal immigration, he's illegal, will you take him into your house? Because that's what they're doing with taxpayer dollars. And part of the reason why we have the government shutdown right now, because they're trying to slip in health care for our tax dollars to be used in healthcare for illegal immigrants.
Yeah, healthcare is very expensive in America, and if you're coming from another country and just using the health privileges what the Americans have, of course you're going to have to pay more money, because now we have to spend the money on somebody who coming from another country to take advantage of the taxpayers to use their health benefits or welfare or, you know, the other things which I don't know how much it is, but you know, that have to be straightened out and talked. But Democrats still very powerful. Even they do a lot of things which they support to criminals, but somehow people still supporting them. I don't know why. You know, maybe because they are supported by some rich people, mostly from outside country, which they wanna hurt America.
Yeah.
So, I don't know exactly what to do, but I want to hear from you guys what you have to say about the situation, what President Trump has to now do, you know, with all that staying up, you know. You see how busy he is, you know. I never saw a president like that, you know, to be so busy with all these staying up problems. If the 4 years, you think is enough for Mr. President to stay that out? The problems?
Well, I mean, in what, 8-9 months that he's been in office now, he's already cleared out.
He did
wars.
a lot of things in that 9 months, but you know the Democrats actually against what he is doing. You know, you can see even by shutting down the government, which kind of is disturbance for all of us. You know, even I'm on a social security, but the social security is not supposed to be affected. But the other, you know, like military, you know, they might be affected. Mr. Trump says that he's going to find the money to give the military that they can be still support
Yes,
the government. Yeah.
President Trump did announce that the military is going to be paid.
During that time. Yeah.
Paid during this time. So the people that need to be paid are still going to be paid, like our military service.
Yeah, so we hope that eventually, even Mr. Trump not going to have enough time to stay there with problems. We hope we can, his vice president, J.D. Vance, can keep going his politics, not only international but also inside America. You know, I like him. That was good choice by President Trump to get the right vice president.
I agree. So after Trump, maybe we'll have President Vance.
Yes, yeah. He
The
presented
natural
it
order.
great. He is very good outspoken. I heard what he was talking when he went to Europe. We got a new sheriff now in America, so European behave.
Did you see the Trumpino comment? I think he was getting onto Air Force One at the time, and he said that he didn't know if he was going to be getting into heaven, but he was talking about all the lives that were saved by ending these wars.
No, I didn't. You can say that. Repeat. Maybe I.
A reporter was asking him that, do you think you're going to get into heaven? And then he goes, I don't know if I'm going to get into heaven for this. Like, I've done a lot of stuff, but I know for sure that I've saved a lot of lives.
Yeah, and that's why he should go to heaven. Because really he tried to make a peace all over the world. Like his favorite words, what I remember, it is make money, not a war. War will destroy, We went with so many wars, especially I know what the war means because I born after the Second World War in Poland and how poor the Poland was at that time, that people have to just go to work just for small bowl of soup, My father was a slave in Germany for 5 years on forced labor, and when he came back, he came half alive, He still survived, that's why I'm here, but it took him only 10 years after the war, he departed from this world. So that's why, I don't like wars, and hopefully all the wars will be solved. People are going to get maybe more smart, but the politicians, all what they do, they just hungry for power, and for the power, they will go to war for any reason, And now we have President Trump, very business-oriented, and he gonna really straight. So I ask you guys, whoever can listen to me, give wherever you can, give the support for the President Trump, because he is really something. He's a big, not only politician now, but a very businessman, and he's gonna make America great. Okay, so make America great. Keep this in mind, and especially that, like I mentioned to you, the Mariana Project probably we're never going to achieve America great because we have to solve the retirees problem and homeless problem. America is very rich and the best country in the world, but you see what's happening in the cities, on the streets, when the homeless live. It's a very simple solution for homeless people, If we move them out from the city because they don't belong to the city, we can move them on some kind of cheaper rent on a farm. Even, we can discuss this with Mexico to open some kind of farms for the homeless in Baja California. I have a project also for the retirees in Greenland, which a lot of retirees would like to live in my project in Greenland. There is only another 60,000 of retirees in my project. So hopefully we solve that. But the one thing what I want to say that without Tarar not running for the Congress, it will be very difficult for me to solve that problem for the retirees, because if Tara runs for the Congress, I will have more access to the people who kind of help me to build that Mariana project. So if you think Tara would be a good congresswoman, let me know what you think about it. You know, if you would like to Tara see as a congresswoman. So also I want to talk about what the Democrats doing for this country now, you know, just to oppose President Trump. I mean, for me, it's a devilish thing what they doing, you know. They supposed to do something good for America, or what they try to, you know, encourage some stupid protester to destroy America. And that's not right. What you guys think about it? Let me know what you think.
Dad, thanks for carrying that. I was under the desk fixing the audio issue. I just knocked a wire loose, so it was hanging there, and that's why it was providing some static from you guys. Thanks.
You think it's working because my movement is not moving here?
Oh, your iPad, you have to hit play.
Play? Where is the play now?
Hit the center.
Here?
Yeah. Hit the screen, Dad. See play?
Oh, I don't know where is the play now. Oh, now it's moving. Okay.
Now it's moving. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not that familiar with this. You know, all what I came to transfer my thoughts to you guys, whoever listened to me, and you know, if you really, you know, I'm very patriotic. I hope you guys are very patriotic, that you want to see America great, and you will be helping whatever you can to President Trump to make America great. Okay, that's why my that's what I stand for. So the next thing I would like to talk also mention, like we mentioned about Antifa, which President Trump make now the Antifa is a terrorist organization. So that will help maybe to, you know, to remove Antifa from America. Like he already tried to remove the MS-13 and all the cartels criminal from America. But
I saw at the ICE facility in front of in front of the ICE facility over in Portland, it looked like a Patriot rally was going on. So
I don't know what's the government in Portland doing, and why do they so protective about it? It's not only Portland, but also Chicago, you know, Seattle. This is the biggest city which the criminals has a lot of to say, you know, and the government, which is mostly democratic over there, they're protecting those criminals. You know, we hear all the time on the news that all they're doing is just protecting the criminals. And that's not right, you know. Who wants to have criminals in the city? You know?
I saw that they were, that National Guard was also, or I believe it was the National Guard was deployed in Memphis. Memphis is now having
Memphis was really destroyed by Antifa during the Biden administration, you know. So anybody who knows a little bit Antifa, where actually the Antifa name came from, well, I just remind you, it came from Germany as a communist opposing the fascists, which was created by Hitler, okay? But in America, they took the name, but basically all what they try to do, you know, destroy America. So they are fascists. They shouldn't call Antifa, they should call a fascist organization.
When Antifa first started in Germany, were they seen as like the good guys? Did they actually do anything that was good? Because didn't they like prevent actual like fascism, as opposed to how it's like so loosely used today to call anybody who you don't like their opinions, to call them a Nazi or to call them a fascist, like with the original origins of Antifa? Like,
Well,
what's the story there?
the name actually it's good, okay, but was created mostly by the Soviet Union as a communist, and they put in Germany as a Antifa, okay, anti-fascist organization, which actually at that time was okay, but you know, at this time in America, they are basically bad people. Bad people who try to destroy America. You know, they're showing that they're fighting the fascists in America, but they are the fascists. So don't let anybody to mislead the name. Okay, if I call myself, let's say I'm patriot, but I will be doing against the patriot, that's some kind of hypocrisy, you know. And we have a lot of hypocrites in politics in America when they making the protest anti-Trump. The mostly of those people, they have nothing to say. They cover the faces. They try to not to talk to us about what they mean by that. You know,
I mean, they can't even define what fascism
although they
is.
have the signs and screaming, I don't know even what the screaming is about, you know. So it's kind of funny, you know, what they want actually to better America. They are actually support also by the Antifa, which, like I said, they fascists to destroy America. So they are hypocrites. Don't believe them. You know, so we have to raise our words too about that. Spread the words. We love President Trump, what he's doing. He's a great president, and we all support him. You know, so that's basically.
Ooh, Governor Abbott's going to be sending out National Guard at the No Kings protest. I hope a lot of patriots also show up at it, because if they're doing an anti-Trump rally, like, then I believe at the last one they had like 5 million people show up nationwide, because it's not just to like one town. It's going on all over. There's 2 that are local to Dad and I, and that's going to be the Orlando one is the one that we're going to be attending. There's another one that's going to be in Castleberry. But guys, if you are available this Saturday, go out and show your support for our president.
That's right, because without if we're not gonna keep showing the support, the Antifa or the anti-Trump protester gonna make the point on the hypocrisy, and they're gonna lie about it. They're gonna try to destroy America, and we cannot allow that. You know, we have to really support President Trump. Most of the patriots, they should show up.
I think it's crazy that with all the work that President Trump has done, that even some people who are anti-Trumpers are trying to say, like, oh, he only did it for the Nobel Peace Prize. Like, Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize for just being Obama while he was bombing everything.
Well, President Trump don't care about the Peace Prize, because he's a rich guy, and the few money what they would get, you know, he basically doesn't accept even for working as a president. He gives the money to charity, you know, so he doesn't care about it. But he wants to make really our country safe and strong, and that we still gonna be proud that we are Americans. You know, the reason it is that also I support President Trump to make America great, because Chinese now with their money can take over the world, and we cannot allow that. Okay, so there is another countries which also getting richer, like Europe or India. So, guys, really, we need America to really show up that President Trump tried to make America great, and we have to help him.
Unlike the Democrats who like to paint that more than half of America is stupid, conservatives don't believe that. That's why, I mean, we're waking up. That's why Dad and I are speaking. That's why people are being more vocal, especially after Kirk's murder, that we do have to raise our voices. We're no longer going to be the silent majority. We are going to be opinionated. We are going to state the facts as they are and call people out and hold people accountable. And they're not going to be allowed to run their mouths anymore. And we're going to correct them and put them in their place to know that, hey, we are not uneducated. We are not stupid. We just see through the BS.
We have to show up, on those anti-protests and show up how strong the conservative is between how many patriots do we have, and really, show our support for all the good of America, to give the supports Antifa, that they should be removed completely from American soil. There is no place for Antifa because they are hypocrites, okay? They take in the name only Antifa to mislead people,
It's just like with the BLM movement, that they were just sowing with using the phrase Black Lives Matter, which everybody agrees Black lives do matter, but that was a socialist Marxist organization to be bringing that ideology into America. And then this has been going on for years. I remember watching a documentary that was filmed back in like the 70s, and it was saying how communism was going to be taking over in America through our universities. And so we see how at Rutgers University, one of the professors is like the author of the Anti-Fascist Handbook. And it's really through our university systems that a lot of these young people and students are becoming so radicalized, like away from common sense. It's funny, like as a parent, you're sending your kids off to college thinking they're going to get a good education, and they come back with like absolutely no common sense.
Yeah, the words Black Lives Matter is very important, but if you notice, there is a lot of hypocrisy, because not only Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Either you are brown, yellow, white, or whatever you're coming from, your life is matter. Okay, life is very important for everybody. Okay, and you're supposed to know that not only Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter. So don't be a hypocrite, okay? Not because I feel that I'm maybe white, or my daughter is yellow or brown, or whatever. All lives matter. Her lives matter, my lives matter, your lives matter. So don't use that word Black Lives Matter, because that's very discriminating the other colors of people.
I think it was really during 2020 and the Black Lives Matter, the BLM movement, that I realized how radicalized people had become, in the sense of before that time, I spent most of my time out of the country. So I was very distant from what was going on with American culture, what was going on in American politics, because I was gone for probably the greater part of like almost 3 years prior to 2020, and then COVID grounded me back into the US. And so when I came back and you could no longer like vocalize your opinion, or if you had an opinion that was other than, it wasn't that your opinion was even counter to that, it was just a different view or perspective. Or if you chose to say silence, so that's the first time I was hearing silence is violence. And so in which case it's like you couldn't voice an opinion unless you were literally saying the exact same words as the people that were shouting the loudest. And I thought that was absolutely like crazy. So, and then with the amplification from everybody being grounded basically with COVID, we were just exposed to everything that was online, and certain people scream louder than others. And for the most part, conservatives are busy with jobs, busy with their children, busy having their own lives, that they don't really meddle in the lives of other people. But now things have gone so crazy that that people aren't even able to define what a man is and what a woman is, and that's because people have just been affirming, like, yes, you can be a man or you can be a woman regardless of what your biology is, and it's just confusing everyone. And now everything has just gone way too far left, and hence I don't think that my values has changed as a person, even though I've been a Democrat my entire life. My views haven't changed, but my beliefs, since they've been severely attacked over the last several years, have definitely become more defined. And I'm no longer, like, not that I was afraid of speaking about them before, but I see the need more to also vocalize what my perspective is. Otherwise, like, without putting your voice out there, people are just going to hear whoever the loudest voices are and assume that's what's correct, when that's not really what's correct. There is a man and there is a woman. And that's how it is.
That's right. There is a man and a woman. Now, if you think you want to be something else, you have the right to be something else. But if you, let's say in a sport, this is an example only, that if you're in a sport and you are biological man, can you join the women in a sports? That's not going to be fair for the women, biological woman, that a man can join you in a competing in a sports.
It's funny how you say, like, oh, protect women's spaces, but then you have men that are invading women's spaces. So how are we exactly protecting women's spaces? Like, I didn't really care so much about, like, if a person's trans or not. The time period that I started, like, kind of paying more attention to it is when I saw how it was infiltrating into the schools, how young kids were being introduced to it, and the ideology of it, when their minds are not even close to being developed. Like, when you give a kid a choice, you as a parent, as an adult, you give A or B, because their minds are not developed enough to be making those type of decisions and everything. So you control what the options are, but then people are introducing such complex ideas to a child who can't even fathom it, and now we have drag queen story hour for 5-year-olds.
Yeah, especially even we're not ready to accept the third kind of people who don't know if they are men or women. Because we don't have even toilets, and as a parent of a daughter, would you like to be a biological man who dressed as a woman coming to the same toilet with your daughter? I don't think you would like that. I wouldn't like that. So
Exactly.
there is a problem advanced over here, It's, I know that basically that some people are confused, okay, but if you're confused, don't go on a street and saying that, oh, I am man, but I want to solve this problem, So, the other thing that somebody asked about Trump freeing Palestine, okay? Like I mentioned to you, I feel sorry for Palestine, but they should give the chance to, because there will be always problem between Israel and Palestine, especially that some another country is supporting the Hamas, and they try to, do terrorist things, and probably immigrate to the country where they can be accepted or something like that. Give it. You see, I came from another country, for Poland, and I have the opportunity to live in America, okay? And I didn't come to change America, I let the America change me, That's why I'm very patriotic to America. I love America. So hope the Palestinian people, they can find a way to better life than in Gaza Strip, because this is a small piece of land, and I don't see they can survive over there, without helping from another countries. And the thing it is, if another country helping, basically the Hamas warriors, they stealing all the stuff from the regular people. So give the Palestinian people a chance to maybe have a better life in other countries. That's my opinion.
I think that, all right, so when it comes to Palestine and Israel, the couple of options that exist, and the one that was originally like put on the table years ago when they were establishing Israel with Palestine was to have a two-state solution. I don't know if that's necessarily like even feasible these days, but yeah, I don't know. Like this might be just like a temporary Band-Aid on the situation and everything to achieve like everlasting peace in Palestine and Israel. But I agree with you, Dad, that they do need to be providing like the aid into Gaza for the civilians, because that's the unfortunate part about war is people are always innocent. And so, like, you know, when I saw even on forums when they're saying, well, if they didn't drop the bombs in Gaza, then so the deceased hostages that were taken, that some of them were killed probably while being held underground, and the bombs are being dropped and everything. But at the same time, if Hamas didn't launch the attack on October 7th, then there'd be 40,000+ innocent Gazan like citizens that would also be alive today. So I mean, you can keep going as far back for the blame game and everything, but we'll see. But they do need to like provide aid to be rebuilding Gaza, but at the same time, like those tunnels that are underneath the Gaza metro, that's where they go for cover. Hamas would go for cover, and that's where they were holding some of the hostages and everything. Like that's something that needs to be taken out at the same time. So actually, if you had builders come in even from like the U.S. or our trusted allies to be the ones who are reconstructing Gaza, that they'd be able to address those.
Yeah, one thing, it's too much carry all the Israeli-Palestinian problem to America. People shouldn't be solving this problem in this country, okay? The problem has to be solved over there, We can help to solve the problem, like President Trump doing this to try to solve, but we know there's never going to be peace between Palestinian and Israeli, with the Hamas as the warriors over there to fight Israeli, So there is a different solution, but it has to be solved by the probably Israeli itself and Palestinian, So we don't want to have too much the problems carried to United States, and a lot of students or Palestinian which coming here to United States, they try to solve these problems on the streets, and that's not right. If you really love Hamas or Palestinian people, go over there and try to help them, because the people are starving themselves there, and find a solution, to probably move some people to another Arabic country. And like you see, no countries wants them, Egypt doesn't want them. I don't know about Jordan. Jordan accept a lot of Palestinian people, but there is a lot of Muslim countries. They should, accept them.
I mean, part of the reason like other Muslim countries weren't accepting Palestinian refugees, because you don't know who would be coming through with them, and then so like when there's peace coming from countries like Jordan, there's peace that's coming from Egypt. If there would be an issue if they accepted refugees who turned out to be the bad kind and pro Hamas or to be Hamas, and then they launched attacks into Israel that would disrupt the peace that countries such as Jordan and countries such as Egypt have. So that's part of the reason why that they weren't accepting like the refugees. But they are opening up the border between the Rafah border that's between Egypt and Gaza to be able to get aid into there also.
Yeah.
But I do agree with a point that you were making earlier, Dad, about when you have foreigners who are chanting for being pro Hamas and everything, like they should absolutely be deported or have their visas taken. And when the concept of freedom of speech, so freedom of speech with our First Amendment rights as U.S. citizens, like it prevents us from going to jail. It's freedom of the press and everything, but it does not mean freedom from social consequences. And for example, like coming into the U.S. or coming into any other country on a visa, you are a guest by the host country. So I know if I have a rude guest in my house, guess what? I'm going to kick them out of my house, because I'm not going to allow somebody to be staying in my house who's going to be disrespecting me or causing trouble inside of my house or being a threat or a danger to my household. And that's exactly how the US needs to be operating, is like it's a house. So actually, I saw that there were maybe like six foreigner students. Some of them are students, some of them are tourists, but they had posted like really egregious stuff against Charlie Kirk and were celebrating his death. And so they had their visas also revoked, and they're being deported and kicked out of the country. And no foreigner should be celebrating the death of an American. So I absolutely agree with having their visas like removed. That's not freedom of speech. Like it's not a right to be coming into the US. It's not foreigners do not have a right for a visa. That can be revoked. It's a privilege to be being granted a visa to be coming into the USA. So if you are celebrating the death of any American, if you are going against like our government, like if I go to Thailand, I have to, like, you cannot say anything bad against the Thai king. Like, don't get involved with that country's like politics, because they have absolutely every right to be kicking you out. I know, like, I've done several trips to Israel as well, and then so among my first times traveling to Israel, when I was going through the border patrol or border passport control, it took me almost like 4 hours to be going through and crossing and be going through and leaving the airport, because my passport, I've traveled to a lot of Muslim countries, and so in which case when they were reviewing my passport, they saw that I traveled to a lot of Muslim countries, and so in which case they also kind of red flagged me, and then put me into like a little room. So I was like detained, but not in like a terrible way. I was like put into a room. I saw sandwiches were laid out, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be a while. So I just kind of waited, and then went through an additional questioning for why I've traveled to a lot of Muslim countries. And I'm like, I've traveled to almost 70 countries, so some of them happen to be Muslim. I backpack and I'm a tourist. And so they're like, okay, and they let me through. But it's like they could have totally, if Israel wanted to be like, this is a red flag for us that you've gone to a lot of these Muslim countries, and they could have denied me, and then I would have had no choice but to fly out of Israel and not been allowed into the country. So I know, like in Thailand, there are some tourists that were like snorkeling in protected waters and everything, and the Coast Guard came, picked them up, and they were out with like a tourist boat that should have known better than to take them into like protected areas and everything, but they insisted upon going there, and then they had a verbal altercation with like the Coast Guard. They totally were deported and everything. So they were violating the rules of the country by snorkeling in protected waters, because the country's trying to regrow a lot of its coral because it was a tourist location that was once open, but now it's closed, so the coral can replenish. And so they were also tossed out. A country has the right to revoke your ability to be traveling into that country or to be there as a tourist, as a student. And so going through these people's like social medias and seeing what their opinions are and what they've stated and everything, and getting a visa denied for it, I'm on board with that.
Freedom of speech should have a limit also, because if the freedom of speech can create violence, that will be really bad,
Well, if it incites violence, that's not freedom, the use of freedom of speech. Like you can't go into a movie theater and shout fire. That's not freedom of speech. So incitement for violence is different. So like how they're trying to like say like, oh, this is hate speech or this and that, like that you can't be like you shouldn't be arrested for using hate speech. Like hate speech is absolutely nasty to use, but whoever's in charge is going to be deeming what is hate speech. So when the Democrats were in charge, they were saying like MAGA, Make America Great Again, is like hate speech. And hello.
Yeah, even Democrats should support to MAGA because Make America Great Again. That's mean, this is something good for America. Those words mean something good for America, not hate, but something what would profit America. And what the Democrats doing, everything against to make America great again.
I mean, remember they were saying the use of the phrase "all lives matter" was also like racist. Like that's what Dad is trying to describe. That's different than freedom of speech, Dad. So you're not allowed to incite violence. That's a call to action is different than like. But it can get difficult to decide what is like a call to action or what incites violence and everything, because like when people were putting out like threats against like Charlie Kirk or Steven Crowder and other influencers, like remember when Biden actually said like put a target on Trump?
Yep.
And what happened? Assassination attempt like immediately followed that, and then Biden deleted that tweet or deleted that post. I mean, and then another phrase that they were trying to call like January 6th an insurrection with was how the president said "fight like hell." I mean, Kamala Harris has said that, Obama has said that, Hillary Clinton has said that, every politician has said "fight like hell." And so then all of a sudden when Trump says "fight like hell," just like all the other politicians, now it's a call for violence. It's, not right.
Yeah, especially, I don't know if you remember, still I'm repeating myself, but you I don't know if you remember when Kamala says, oh, don't worry if she got Antifa on her mind, that don't worry if you're going to get arrested, we will bail you out. So she encouraged the demolishing of the cities like Minnesota, Seattle, you remember Portland. So she encouraged that violence.
Exactly, and I think it was like Maxine Waters who said like, oh, if you see any of these people in a restaurant, go in and like she's actually providing instructions for violence. So that I wouldn't say is considered freedom of speech. Like you're literally giving an instruction manual of what to do to like harm other people that you disagree with.
All right, and especially has something to do with, let's say, the protesters going on the street and blocking the traffic. Can you imagine? You have to go to hospital and the street is blocked.
That's actually that's not a right to protest. You are not allowed to be blocking the streets because people have a right to travel. And then so you're infringing on another person's right for travel by blocking the streets. And so that's also an action. Like that's not a form of protest. That's not a form of a peaceful protest. The protesters who are blocking the road, if you get hit by a car, I think that the car has every right to be driving and everything. So.
Well, if you're going on the streets and blocking the streets, even as a protest, you should be treated as a criminal, because that can cause the not only the problems but you can hurt not only yourself, but you can hurt another people, and that's a crime.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
All right, Dad, we're coming up on an hour. So, guys, we're going to be at the protest this Saturday, filming content for you guys. And also we're taking over Adam Francisco's channel on that day. So we will be co-hosting together, Dad and I, while Adam is recovering from kidney surgery. He had a successful kidney transplant last week. He is recovering very, very well. And so we'll be covering the No Kings protest for Adam Francisco on that day. Any closing remarks, Dad?
Yeah, all what I want to mention, like previously, that you want Tara run for the congresswoman, okay, and that's very important for me to build the Mariana project, which would solve a lot of problems in America, okay? So, guys, please support Tara to run for Congress. Encourage her. That's my, goal. It is that before I depart to the other world, I want Tara to see her in Congress and continue on Mariana project.
All right, we look forward to giving you guys some good coverage, some good interview questions. Like, post them down below in the comments if there's anything you want us to be asking people at the No Kings protest. It's going to be interesting to see if Dad's wearing his freedom shirt. I got my freedom shirt that we wore during our previous podcast, and if people would consider that hate speech, the way that some of these people are so twisted these days. But yes, we look forward to providing you coverage of the No Kings protest from here in Orlando, and we will be live streaming again on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we're going to try and be consistent at 9 o'clock Florida time, so that's 6 p.m. on the other coast. And be sure you like, share, subscribe. All right, thanks guys for joining us on the Polish American Brotherhood.
Thank you, guys, and see you again on Tuesday and Thursday. So we're going to bring you more subject to talk, and hopefully you can respond to our question, okay? You can raise your opinion about it, and wish Tara luck to be a congresswoman. That will change a lot. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay.